Today, we're going to be looking at the new update from Wave 9. Now, Wave 9 have actually introduced a brand new model, which is purely built for software engineering, which is pretty insane to be fair. And they're introducing a new family of models, One Light, SWE One Mini. And bear in mind, like ChatGPT is supposedly, well, OpenAI is supposedly buying Windsurf as well. So I think this is going to be a huge step up. It literally just got announced like 9 hours ago, so it's brand new. And 99% of people have probably not had a chance to check this out. So if you haven't, let me talk you through it, my friends, and we'll run through exactly what it means, how it works, etc. Now, if you want to open this up or if you want to get access to it, you can get access. Just download Windsurf from codium.com, and then you're going to find that it looks something like this, and we can open up the Cascade and start using this bad boy. All right. Now, inside Cascade, you're going to see these brand new features here. So, for example, we've got SWE Light, which is free. We've got SWE-1, and we also have other models as well. And we can switch between writing and chatting. Now, this is free. You can see right here it says free, in case anyone doubts me, anyone's worried, etc. So we can click on free, for example, here, and then we can start using it. So if we say, okay, build out an SEO Quiz App, something like that, we can now start generating responses. And this is built specifically for software engineering, right? So if we open up the chat right here, it's planning out. It's really fast, actually, to be fair. Now it's going to run a terminal command and start setting up Vite. And now you can see it's installing the package. Now, CEO Alex says this should play into Windsurf, maybe, definitely moving in the direction of that acquisition. I would agree. I think this is a huge update. Is it related to something like ChatGPT 4.1's release this week as well? That would be interesting. There's a lot of interesting stuff going on with Windsurf right now. Wave 9, like the speed at which they're updating is absolutely wild. You can see here. So basically, if you want to know, okay, what are the differences between each? For example, SWE One is a new SWE One model made by Windsurf, and it is free for a limited time for pro users. So if you're a pro user, you can get access for free. SWE-1 Light is free for all use, free to use for all plans and tiers, right? All plans and tiers. That means it's free for you. Before anyone starts typing in the comments like, oh, it's not free or whatever, you can see it's free. And then we also have SWE-1 Mini is a revamped model for tab completion inside Windsurf. And there was a bunch of improvements inside Wave 9, inside Wave 8. But Wave 9 is mostly about building with SWE. That is a huge update that's just come. Now, if you're wondering, okay, what is SWE? What does it mean, etc.? I'll walk you through that in a second. In the meantime, let's see how our app's doing. So it's working its magic right here. And it's going to start creating the app environment on the right-hand side. Beautiful. Now, if we go back whilst that's building out, and we'll come back and explain what Windsurf Wave 9 is. So these are frontier models built for engineering, not just coding. Quite different, right? Engineering versus coding. What's also interesting is that SWE-1 has approximately Claude 3.5 Sonnet levels of tool call reasoning, whilst being cheaper to serve. It's available to all paid users for a promotional period. SWE-1 Lite is a smaller model that replaces Cascade base at better quality, and it's available for unlimited use to all users, free or paid. So it doesn't matter whether you're on the free plan or on the paid plan, you can get access to SWE Light. So it's now building it out. You can see it's coded out. For example, the assets on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, we have this coding. Pretty nice. You can also see here, down at the bottom, we have options. So we can do website preview, we can set up MCPs, and we can also deploy our applications as well if we want to, which is pretty cool. And that's working its magic now. So we'll see what it comes back with. I want to see what we can build with the SWE first, and then we'll come on to other models in a second. Why have they done this? They said models that can code have gotten way better, and they've improved. But there's a couple of places these will plateau at, right? So any software developer will tell you that not all time is spent on writing code. So, for example, work in the terminal, accessing enough knowledge, testing and playing with the products, etc., understand user feedback. This isn't just about writing code. That's not what developers do. And then also software developers also talk about like how a lot of the foundational models are not that powerful, right? And so what they're trying to do is just trying to automate more the process of software engineering. So it says requires modeling. So automating more of your workflow requires removing the limitation, right? So it requires modeling the full complexity of the engineering process, reasoning over incomplete states with potentially ambiguous outcomes. So basically, it's not just coding. That's not what software development is about. It comes with a lot more than that. So now it's creating the CSS now. Let's have a look where we're up to. It's working its magic over there. Happy days. And you can actually see the benchmarks for SWE right here. So for example, frontier models versus mid-sized models, etc. And you can see the benchmarks over here. So it's at a similar level of performance versus Claude 3.5 Sonnet, which is great. It's also outperforming DeepSeek version 3. So you can see SWE-1 and SWE-Light. This is outperforming, for example, Qwen 3 and Claude Haiku. But yeah, you get the point. Now, if we break this down in simple language, I've broken that down right here. So if you're wondering, okay, what did all that stuff mean that we talked about on Windsurf's channel? So basically, there's 3 models here. We've got SWE One, Light, and Mini, right? Mini is the one that's free for all users. So what's different about this? It's built up to speed up everything that software engineers do, which is like basically helping you get faster at development. And also, it's not just about writing code, but it also is designed to understand and interact with terminals, test products, read user feedback, and lean on ongoing projects. It's also designed to handle more tasks that are incomplete or ambiguous, like real-world engineering work, and it works really well with human input so that you can jump in, add any human inputs that you need, and then get back to coding. They tested it offline. It performed pretty well. So compared to SWE One with other top AI models, and it scored really well, close to some of the best models in the industry. And in terms of what next, obviously SWE One is just the beginning, so Windsurf is investing heavily to improve the models and bring even better performance, right? Let's see what we're getting back now from Windsurf. We can also run multiple windows at a time. So if we open up another window here, we can open up a new folder. Let's put, for example, 3JS running game, just as an example. Open that up, wait for Cascade to load, and then we can start using this magic. Now, also inside the settings here, I've actually recently uninstalled it because it stopped working for me and now it's working again, which is good. But you get a bunch of settings like you can see. And then if we go in Windsurf settings, general, we can actually add MCP servers. So over here, you can add an MCP server, which is pretty useful. And we can switch this on to like auto for auto execution in terminal. And there we go. We can also add servers here. Usually if I'm setting up an MCP server, I'm probably not going to use SWE. I would use Claude for doing that. But let's wait for this to load to see what we get back. You can also set up customizations here. So you can set up rules, workflows, memories, etc. So you can add like, we've added our brand colors, updated color scheme, etc. So if there's any rules that you need to set up, you can just go to the settings and then change that in the background too. I will say this is super slow for loading. Like just to build a basics sort of theme like this, normally if you're using Visual Studio Code or Gemini 2.5 Pro, you're going to get way quicker output. So let me show you an example. If we use exactly the same prompt, build out an SEO Quiz App, and we just go straight to Gemini, we use Pro Preview, and we'll say build out a SEO Quiz App. I can almost guarantee this will be done within 30 to 60 seconds using Gemini 2.5 Pro, whereas Windsurf is taking absolutely ages. And you can see all the changes it's making right here. Now, even if, for example, I'm using something like Visual Studio Code, typically it's going to be quicker and faster than this. So it's quite interesting to see how slow it is. Let's try this. All right, so we'll stop the compute there, and then we'll say, can you just complete this? Let's see if that works better. And then just to speed it up as well, I'm going to close the other window. So we'll just have one window running, see if that speeds things up. Now, if we go back to, for example, Gemini, exactly the same prompt to build out the quiz. That's ready to go. It's working beautifully. We're living the dream, right? To be honest, like Windsurf is super, super slow for building stuff out. You can see how long it's taking. Even when I close the other windows, even when I just ask it to complete, it's not that impressive for me so far. Hopefully that will improve. I know as well, like typically when you bring out a new API, it'll be slow, right? And this is the same with Gemini 2.5 Pro. It's the same with all these other models. When they first come out, within the first 12 to 24 hours, it's going to be slow. But honestly, am I going to switch? Am I going to switch from Visual Studio Code or Gemini anytime soon for app building to Windsurf? From the looks of it, absolutely not. But let's run this terminal command to see what we get. Yeah, it's too slow. Like Gemini has just worked its magic here. If we actually compare this side by side, this would be quite interesting. So if we go back to coding locally, right? And we'll compare Visual Studio Code now side by side. Because the thing is, right, like you can have the best API in the world, but if it doesn't code within a reasonable time, then defeat the object of trying to save time, right? So let's do exactly the same. We'll say build out an SEO Quiz App inside Visual Studio Code, and you use Climb for this. Just make sure in OpenRouter we've got the setup, which we have. We're going to select Gemini 2.5 Pro, compare it versus SWE. So let's start a new text, and we'll say build out an SEO Quiz App. Now, it could be that this is building out something absolutely insane inside Windsurf, but it also could be that we never find out because it takes so long. That is unbelievable. But let's see what Visual Studio Code does now, so you can see how quick it actually responds, how fast it's coding, etc. And you can get a free version of Gemini's API if you want. You just make sure you select the free one in OpenRouter. I'm using the paid one because it gives us the best outputs for a video. But if you want the free one, then you can go back to Visual Studio Code and start using that. So let's compare them side by side. We've got Windsurf working its magic here. It's setting up the install button CSS. It still seems to be really slow from what I can see. If you go back to Visual Studio Code, that has already created the app. Let's run it now, see what we get. Boom. Now, it's not looking great, to be honest, but at least we've got some sort of prototype that we can then create, right? So, for example, if I say, okay, now actually add in the questions plus answers, plus make the UI more sleek, and we'll see what we get back here. But this must be for SWE, must be for like creating something really crazy, because why would it take so long? Anyway, we'll go back to client now. We'll see what client gives us, because right now, to be fair, the output was not great. Gemini is winning by a long way in the app. So it's come up with version 2 inside here. To be fair, it's still not giving us like the answers. I'm actually going to go back inside Visual Studio Code here and just say, mate, there's no SEO related questions plugged in here. When you're going to add them in? Now, Windsurf says it successfully completed it. So we're going to go inside the chat here and just say, okay, now run it so I can preview it. So it's starting the development. We'll open that up. Let's open it up, see what we got. And this is what SWE is giving us back. There's nothing there. It's not that impressive, is it? Great, the development server is up and running. You can now preview the app. Let's open it up. Nothing there, mate. All right, thanks for that. Let's have a look. I'm going to say I can't see anything when I open it up. Now we're going to go back to Visual Studio Code. We'll run the command here. We'll click on Start, and boom. App is ready to go. It actually looks quite clean, quite nice. It's not going to blow anyone's socks off anytime soon, but you get the point. Which of the following is a key on-page SEO factor? We'll go loading speed. Boom. This man is a master of SEO right there. He's passing all the questions. So if we go back to Windsurf now, we'll accept that. See if that does anything. Let's check Windsurf. And yeah, it's just totally broken. So I'm going to close this down. I may not open that up for a while. But yeah, you get the point. I'm going to close both of these down. But yeah, if you do want to learn more about that, if you want to get all the resources, etc. that I've talked about today, feel free to get that inside the AI Success Lab. Link in the comments description. Inside here, it comes with a community of 5,600 members. You also get the free AI course, and this comes with all the course links and resources that I've talked about today, plus a full recipe on how to use Windsurf to code. Additionally, I've included 100 simple use cases for using Windsurf Wave 9 if you want to learn exactly what you could build and some example prompts right there. So feel free to get that link in the comments description. And inside the AI Profit Boardroom, this is an amazing community focused on just making money and saving you time with AI. It comes with weekly coaching calls. It also has an amazing classroom of all these different courses. And additionally, the community is super active, right? Awesome community of people here. You can jump in, ask any questions you have, get support, DM us if you have any questions. And it's just an awesome community of people. So feel free to get that link in the comments in the description.